They tried to reduce it to a children's humming exercise. They tried to bury it inside harmless yoga classes. But what you are about to learn was once guarded in silence because it is not just a breathing method. Bhramari Pranayama is an ancient neuroacoustic weapon, a biological override switch hidden inside the human skull, and it was considered dangerous precisely because it gives you direct control over your nervous system. I am not speaking metaphorically. I am speaking as someone who has studied both the laboratory data and the forgotten manuscripts. This technique was whispered in monasteries because it can collapse anxiety in minutes, induce deep sleep without medication, and shift brainwave states at will. That kind of autonomy does not make you dependent. It makes you sovereign. And sovereignty has always frightened institutions built on stress, distraction, and chemical sedation. You have been told your insomnia is normal. You have been told your racing thoughts are just modern life. You have been told to manage stress, not eliminate it. But what if the agitation in your chest, the tightness in your jaw, the exhaustion behind your eyes are not permanent traits, but simply a nervous system stuck in survival mode? What if there is a frequency generated by your own body that can unlock the brake pedal of your brain? I have seen it measured. I have watched heart rate variability stabilize. I have watched cortisol drop. I have seen EEG patterns slide toward calm, coherent rhythms within a single session. The humming breath of Bhramari is not mystical fantasy. It is vibrational neurology. And once you understand what it truly does, you will never breathe the same way again. Right now, your nervous system is overstimulated and under-recovered. You wake up tired, even after sleeping. Your mind replays conversations that are already over. Your body is technically safe, yet your physiology behaves as if a predator is still outside the cave. This is not weakness. This is sympathetic dominance. Your stress circuitry is stuck in the on position. Cortisol pulses through your bloodstream at the wrong hours. Your amygdala scans for threats that do not exist. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational commander of your brain, loses authority under pressure. And the worst part? You have adapted to this state so completely that it feels normal. Insomnia is not just difficulty sleeping. It is a nervous system that does not know how to power down. Anxiety is not just worry. It is electrical noise in neural networks that refuse to synchronize. Your breathing has become shallow, vertical, rushed. Each rapid inhale tells your brain that something is wrong. Each incomplete exhale reinforces the alarm. You are feeding the fire without realizing it. Modern life amplifies this loop. Blue light at midnight, endless notifications, caffeine spikes, constant comparison. Dopamine floods during the day, then collapses at night. Your system never completes its recovery cycle. You may think you need stronger supplements, heavier medication, more discipline. But what if the real issue is mechanical? What if your body simply forgot the acoustic signal that tells it you are safe? Deep inside your skull runs a nerve that governs calm, digestion, heart rhythm, immune function. If that nerve remains quiet, your stress remains loud. And when stress remains loud, sleep becomes a battlefield. You are not broken. You are misregulated. And that means there is a switch. Now we move from mystery to mechanism. Inside your body runs one of the most powerful biological highways ever discovered, the vagus nerve. It is not a minor cable. It is the master regulator of your parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for restoration, digestion, immune balance, and deep sleep. When the vagus nerve is underactive, your heart rhythm becomes erratic, your breathing shallow, your brain locked in high beta alert mode. When it is stimulated correctly, your system shifts into parasympathetic dominance. Heart rate slows. Blood pressure stabilizes. Inflammation markers decrease. The brain transitions toward alpha and theta waves, the very frequencies associated with meditation and the edge of sleep. Bhramari Pranayama works because humming creates measurable vibration in the skull, sinus cavities, and throat. That vibration is not symbolic. It mechanically stimulates branches of the vagus nerve near the larynx and inner ear. Studies show that extended humming increases nitric oxide production in the nasal passages up to 15-fold. Nitric oxide is not just a gas. It is a signaling molecule that enhances oxygen delivery, dilates blood vessels, and supports cellular repair. Imagine turning up the dimmer switch in a dark room. That is what nitric oxide does for circulation and brain oxygenation. But there is more. The low-frequency hum creates internal resonance that synchronizes neural firing patterns. Think of an orchestra tuning before a performance. When neurons fire chaotically, you experience anxiety. When they synchronize rhythmically, coherence emerges. EEG recordings during humming practices demonstrate increased theta wave activity, the same state the brain enters during early sleep and deep meditation. Theta is the gateway to memory consolidation and emotional processing. So this is not superstition. It is acoustic vagal stimulation, nitric oxide amplification, and brainwave entrainment combined into one ancient ritual. The monks did not know the terminology, but they knew the effect. And now you know the circuitry behind the calm. Now you will learn the protocol, not a watered-down version, the precise sequence that turns theory into transformation. Sit upright. Spine neutral, chin slightly tucked, crown of the head rising as if suspended by a thread. Do not slump. Posture determines neural signaling. Place your tongue gently against the roof of your mouth, just behind the upper teeth. This closes an electrical loop along the vagal pathway. Close your lips softly. Teeth slightly apart. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale slowly through the nose for 4 to 6 seconds, not forcefully, silently. Feel the air expand your lower ribs, not your shoulders. Your abdomen should widen. If your chest lifts first, reset. When the lungs are comfortably full, seal the lips and begin the hum. A deep, steady sound, like a bee vibrating in a cave. The pitch should be low and smooth, not strained. Let the vibration travel through your cheekbones, your sinuses, your throat. Extend the exhale for 6 to 8 seconds or longer if natural. The exhale must be longer than the inhale. That ratio is critical. It signals safety to the brainstem. As you hum, lightly close your ears with your index fingers if possible. This intensifies internal resonance and amplifies cranial vibration. Keep the face relaxed. No tension in the jaw. Perform 10 cycles. That is 1 set. After 10, sit quietly for 1 minute. Observe the after effect. Warmth, stillness, subtle heaviness in the eyelids. That is parasympathetic activation. Practice twice daily. Once before sleep. Once during a high-stress period. Common mistakes? Forcing volume. Rushing the inhale. Letting the pitch fluctuate wildly. Consistency matters more than loudness. The hum should feel soothing, almost hypnotic. This is your laboratory protocol. Precision creates power. Now you want proof of transformation, not vague promises, measurable change. Good. Because this is where ancient ritual meets laboratory verification. After your first single session, within 5 to 10 minutes, heart rate variability begins to shift upward. That means your vagus nerve is engaging. Your pulse slows slightly. Your jaw unclenches. Many people feel warmth in the face or a subtle pressure behind the forehead. That is increased nitric oxide and improved blood flow. If practiced before bed, sleep latency, the time it takes you to fall asleep, often decreases that same night. You may not notice fireworks, you will notice quiet. After 7 consecutive days, the changes become structural rather than temporary. Cortisol rhythm begins stabilizing. Instead of spiking late at night, it starts to follow its natural arc, higher in the morning, lower in the evening. Subjectively, anxiety episodes shorten. Reactivity decreases. You pause before responding. That pause is neurological space returning to your prefrontal cortex. Many practitioners report fewer nighttime awakenings and deeper, uninterrupted sleep cycles. This is not placebo. This is parasympathetic conditioning. Your nervous system is learning a new default. At 30 days, the adaptation becomes durable. Baseline breathing rate slows even outside the practice. Resting heart rate may decrease. Emotional triggers lose intensity. Cognitive clarity sharpens because chronic stress inflammation begins to reduce. Theta access becomes easier. You slip into calm more rapidly. It feels as if the volume of internal noise has been turned down permanently. The most striking shift is subtle. You no longer feel chased by your own thoughts. This is the timeline of recalibration. Not instant enlightenment. Not fantasy. Progressive neural rewiring. And once rewired, your system does not easily revert. Now the challenge. Because knowledge without action is sedation. You have been handed a tool that monks guarded, and modern science quietly confirmed. The question is not whether Bhramari works. The question is whether you will use it with discipline, or let it become another forgotten technique buried in your digital history. Stress is loud. Distraction is addictive. Your old patterns will try to pull you back into shallow breathing and racing thoughts. That is the inertia of survival wiring. But you are no longer unconscious of it. You know there is a switch. For the next 30 days, you will commit. 10 cycles in the morning, 10 cycles before sleep. No negotiation, no skipping because you feel fine. Especially not then. Calm is not maintained by accident. It is trained. Each hum is a signal sent through your vagus nerve declaring safety. Each extended exhale is a command to your amygdala. Stand down. If anxiety rises during the day, you do not reach first for your phone. You reach for your breath. You close your eyes. You hum. You reclaim control. I have seen what happens when this becomes habit. Posture changes. Speech slows. Decisions sharpen. Sleep deepens. The nervous system, once chaotic, becomes coherent, and coherence is power. A regulated human cannot be easily manipulated by fear or urgency. That is why this practice was once considered dangerous. It dissolves dependency. So here is your final instruction. Tonight, before your head touches the pillow, perform 1 full set. Not tomorrow, not when convenient. Tonight. Feel the vibration in your skull. Feel the quiet spreading through your chest. That sensation is not mystical. It is mastery returning. Your breath has always been the key. Now you choose whether to turn it.